Hey guys, welcome to another video on sales. In this video, I'm going to share with you everything about what is account management and who is an account manager. There is a ton of information out there available on the internet regarding the different kind of job descriptions to become an account manager. However, no one tells you how do you ace that job description, the points mentioned in the job description to become a successful account manager, to get hired, be successful in the interview. In this video, I'm going to share with you actionable steps as to how you can ace the job description and be hired. If you're new on my channel, my name is Zav and I create educational content for learners like you in sales and marketing. What I've done in this video, I've researched one of the most popular job descriptions available in the service industry and I've shortlisted them for you. If you're interested in account management and learning not only the skills but also going in depth in terms of strategy, tactics, planning, then I have just the course for you available on Udemy. I'm going to share with you a link in the description box. Go ahead and take that course on Udemy and get certified today. Some of the things that you will learn in this course is strategic account plans, account mapping, sales intensity plans, competition analysis, quarterly business reviews, requests for proposals. The best part is there are already 78 plus students learning on Udemy, and I really hope that you go ahead and take this course and learn and get certified, add value to your career. Well, that's enough talk already on my course. Without much further ado, let us begin. What is account management and who is an account manager? Account management is an identified, targeted strategy towards past and high potential customers, which means past and future customers. The goal is to build relationship with these clients, retain their loyalty and business. In return for what? In return for prompt, exemplary, excellent services. So you see, the whole strategy here is that sales teams and management identify certain clients who are highly targeted. Probably they have worked with you in the past, they have generated a lot of revenue, or maybe we are talking about those potential future customers who can bring in revenue and stay with us for a longer duration, be loyal to us. Now, who is an account manager? An account manager is the bridge between the company and the client. Basically, we're talking about the company this account manager works in and his client. He is a bridge in between. He or she is the best advisor to the client in the company he is working for. In short, he stands as a pillar in his own company, representing his client and his client's best interest. He or she strives to provide value to the client in return for the dedicated loyalty and business. So you see, account manager's role is primarily making sure that they act as an advisor, someone who adds value to their client, rather making it a more transactional approach. This is more of a holistic approach, and then maybe these clients will give you business from time to time or regularly. Let us now talk about how this entire thing functions in terms of a cycle. You see, the first thing is CAMP, which is key account management or account management in some organizations. So once they put this strategy in place, the next thing happens is that they provide priority services to identified and targeted highly potential clients. Once that happens, they end up building relationships, which in turn helps them to retain the loyalty of these clients in the companies. And of course, by keeping these people loyal, these clients loyal, they also end up giving business. And then the cycle continues. You can see again, it goes back to CAM and priority services, so on and so forth. There's a catch-22 situation in a lot of roles out there if you do not have any experience in the field you so desire to join. In short, whether the hen came first or the egg, companies will not hire you if you do not already have account management experience. And to get account management experience, you first need some sort of a job. So if you are new in sales with little or no experience, my suggestion to you is start with what you have. There are two types of people who can benefit from this video. One who already has a job in sales and the other one who is preparing for a job with no or little experience. If you're someone who already has account management experience and is handling a portfolio, it will become much easier for you to learn these tactics and use them, start implementing right away. And if you're new in sales with no experience at all, I suggest that you learn from this video and use it to demonstrate in the interview that you at least know what you're talking about and what you're getting into. That will really increase your chances of getting hired. The interviewer, the recruiter will understand, hey, this person knows what he or she is talking about. Again, what skills are needed to become an account manager? So as you can see, I've pulled out the top 4 things that mostly are asked in a service setup. Number 1, handle complex/valuable accounts. Number 2, strategically execute data into results. Number 3, use strong negotiation and follow-up to close deals. Last but not the least, collect market intelligence with the knowledge and local network. On the basis of these 4 points, let us look at the step-by-step guide in terms of what actionable steps you can learn right away, the skills you can learn and dominate the role, maybe get that much coveted job for which you have applied. The first one is handle complex accounts. You want to prepare your portfolio of accounts/build a portfolio. If you're already a salesperson with some exposure and certain client base in the organization, you want to make sure that you grow that into a portfolio of accounts. Probably if you have 5 clients, you want to grow that to 10 to 50 to 80 accounts, depending on the company culture. Some companies say that you need to have at least 50 accounts or 50 clients in a portfolio. Depending on your company, find out how many you need and make sure you start preparing and nurturing those clients, target certain people. But how do you do that? You do that by analyzing. Point number 2, analyze historical data on the portfolio. You want to make sure that you look into each and every account that you're handling right now as of today, and on the basis of the historical data, see what they have produced with you, how much revenue have they given to you, what leads have they given to you over the last 2 to 3 to 5 years, what other ancillary revenue opportunities that you may have with this particular account. For example, let's say you're working in the hospitality industry. You're not only selling rooms, but you're also selling banquets, you're selling food and beverage, you're also selling spa, gymnasium, all of these services. You want to make sure that a client is able to generate revenue for you in at least 2 to 3 of these departments over a period of time. Once you analyze all this data, you want to shortlist your top 3 to 5 producing accounts for your company on the basis of, let's say, last year, year on year, or maybe 2 to 3 years. And then you want to identify and separate and segregate those 3 to 5 accounts, highlight them. Those will be your top accounts. And then what you will do is you will conduct account mapping exercise for those 3 to 5 top accounts to begin with. Great. So what does this account mapping mean anyway? Account mapping is a strategy where you want to make sure that you are, as the name says, you map your account in a way that you research the entire organizational structure of your client and put it out on paper. You want to make sure that you find out all the different departments in the company of your client. Let's say, for example, you are handling an account in which at least 2 to 3 different departments give you revenue over a period of time. So you want to dig in further. You want to find out who these departments are. For example, let's say the finance department of your client relationship gives you business. Also, procurement gives you business. And let's say even sales gives you business. So you want to, again, map these accounts. What you'll do is you'll dig deeper into these departments of your client relationship. Go to their company, find out who all are there in procurement, who all are there in sales, who all are there in finance, and then map it. Find out who is the head of finance, who heads procurement team, and who is a subordinate, who is a decision maker, who is an influencer. You find all of this information, you put it on a paper or in Excel, and that you do exactly for all the 3 to 5 accounts. That is nothing but account mapping exercise. Another most important job description point that companies look for in their candidates in account management is the ability to strategically execute data into results. So how do you learn this skill? Point number 1, look at your team sales strategy. Remember, you're not working as a lone wolf. Your strategy as an individual, the strategies that you use for your set of accounts, your portfolio, has to resonate with that of your sales team. It cannot be going on the wrong path, or maybe let's say you're going left, whereas your company strategy is going right. So what do I mean when I say that your strategy has to align with that of the company strategy? Let's say the company has agreed in the annual sales meet that any account to be considered as potential account for the company has to give you $200 worth of revenue every month. However, there are certain accounts in your portfolio who are not giving you $200 per month, yet you consider them to be key accounts and you meet them regularly. You do a lot of things every month for them, irrespective of the fact that your company has specifically said do not reach out to those people and don't waste your time. This is clearly a mismatch in terms of the management strategy, the sales team strategy compared to your individual strategy. You don't want to do that. You want to make sure that it's aligned. Point number two, sit every day with your MIS/ops team, post your sales calls. So what do I mean by this? Sit every day with your MIS is nothing but your management information system. If you have someone who gives you all the data or gives you all the reports from the operation team, sit with them, befriend them in your organization, and sit with them after your sales calls during the day. When you come back after your sales call into the market, come back to your office, befriend them, sit with them, understand what's happening in the market in terms of numbers, what the competition is doing, and try to understand better the overall macro picture. This will really help you create the right kind of strategy for your portfolio of accounts. Point number three, create a sales intensity plan. So, what do we mean by SIP or sales intensity plan? Sales intensity plan is nothing but all the things that you plan to do or you are already doing right now for your customers. It is primarily a 30-day ahead plan. So, for example, if you're sitting in the month of September, we could be making the plan for the next 30 days in October in terms of what all things I'm going to do for my clients, step by step, in terms of each and every client. For example, I identify the top 10 clients in the month of October. I'm going to meet the CEO of client number one. I'm going to host a small little cocktail party for client number two because they have given us X and Y number of revenue. They have overachieved our quota and we are going to maybe celebrate. Or you could be actually saying that I'm going to sit with client number three and discuss in terms of what's happening and what's not in the coming month. So all the activities basically that you're doing for your clients to generate sales either directly or indirectly from your portfolio of accounts is nothing but a sales intensity plan. That puts you in a great position compared to your competition. Next point, constantly monitor and update your SIP. For example, let's say you have created certain plans for the month of October as of today. However, as the month of October comes, there are certain things that we might not have foreseen as of today, but we might have to factor in the next month. And then you have to make those changes accordingly and update your SIP accordingly. A clear example of that could be COVID. Let's say, for example, we do not have COVID at all right now, and then we are planning October normally. And then as October comes and then suddenly COVID hits, the entire plan goes disarray and you want to make sure you modify your plan. Last but not the least, make sure that you shadow your leaders on calls. What does this mean? Basically, you want to also make sure that you follow your leaders and make sure you learn and observe when they are going out and meeting clients. What are the things they're talking about? What are the things they're saying? What are the things they're not saying? How they're extracting information. Another important point in the JD is strong negotiation skill and follow. How do you get this skill? Point number one, know the client, know your product, and also know what value you bring to the table. It's very simple. You will only be able to negotiate if you know who you are, who your client is, what your product is, and what value you're bringing. Once you have this information on all of these pieces, automatically you are in a better position, you are in a stronger position to negotiate with your client. Put your hand down on the table and say, this is what I can do, this is what I bring to the table. And once you know the client also, it also gives you confidence in terms of how far the client will go in terms of negotiation. For example, you have dealt with this client for the last 5 years and you know that they will go to a certain point and after that they will agree to you. With this information and intelligence, you are already prepared to handle this client. Same goes for your product. Let's say, for example, the client is talking about product Y, whereas you're selling product X, and you already know that product Y, which is competition product, is much inferior to your product or service that you're offering, and you exactly know the difference in terms of what value you can bring to the table that your competition cannot. And that gives you a strong negotiation power and the ability to close the deal. Point number two, negotiate with alternative options for clients to choose from. I see a lot of salespeople making this mistake. When they're negotiating, they do not give alternate options to the clients. They stick to their gun and they say, this is what we can do, yes or no, and then we will leave it there. If you do that, there's a fine possibility for you to lose out. There's a 50-50 probability that you might not close the deal at all. You don't want to do that. What you want to do is you want to negotiate and give alternate options, keeping the client's success in mind. That brings me to the next point. think win-win always. You want to make sure that you're giving the clients options. Hey, how about option A, which gives you A, B, C, D, and this is the price? How about, okay, you have a challenge there. How about option B with A, B, C, D, and this is the price? How about option C, A, B, C, D, and this is the price? When you're proposing a lot of alternatives to the clients, you actually demonstrate to the client that, hey, I am interested in closing this deal with you. I'm interested to work with you. More importantly, I want to see you win. I want to provide the solution that you need that will help you close the gap, answer the problem that you have right now, and we can move forward to the next deal probably, or we can close this and celebrate. Last but not the least, you want to make sure that you're following up, and in a non-pestering way. Most times sales associates devalue or underestimate follow-up skill, but again, it's a very important skill. You want to make sure that after every stage of the sales cycle, you follow up with your client. Right from cold calling or prospecting to sending proposals to negotiating to pre-closure, all of these stages, you want to make sure that you're following up as much as possible in a non-pestering way as possible. So the next one is very tricky for those who have no experience at all in sales. How do you collect market intelligence? Or even for those people who are working in the market right now, this can be a bit tricky one. You must know and have utter knowledge of your products and services before you know about the competition. Next point, stay on top of the industry news. What policies you have in your industry, what government policies are there, and what are the different things that can affect in a micro perspective also in terms of your products and services, your company, your market. Identify the trends, macro factors influencing your competition. In not only your competition, but also the ones that influence your own company decisions also. So for example, there are certain trends in the market that can actually change how you look at clients. Could be a new invention, could be a new policy, could be a new regulation, could be a new charge on your products and services, which can change how you look at pricing and negotiating. Macro factors influencing your competition could also mean overall economic policies. For example, what's happening in the airline industry, what are the regulations that are placed in the hospitality industry or FMCG or automobile. You get my drift. Last but not the least, collect info on metrics like city demand, supply, forecast, seasonality. You want to make sure that apart from the overall macro perspective, you are also aware of, and this will come from your friendship with your MIS guy, as I mentioned earlier, in your office. It could be very specific. For example, what is the city demand? What is the city supply? What is the forecast you're looking at in the industry? Or let's say in your region, what is the seasonality? When is a good time for your products and services to move? When does your competition get weakened? All of this information you will get from the different metrics that you draw from your region, from your city, on the basis of your interaction with your network, at the same time your MIS or operation team members from your office. Perfect. So I really hope that you learned from this short video and you're going to start using these points right away in your job interview and get hired or maybe get success sooner in your role. At this point in time, I'm going to ask you to do one of the best things you can do right now is like this video, give it a thumbs up and hit the notification bell icon. That way you'll never miss any other new video coming out of my stable. Also, please do share this video with as many people as possible so that they can benefit from this video and it will really help them get the job as an account manager in sales. I'll catch you in the next one, and until then, masalama.